Thanks for coming out and watching the oxymoronic Reddit professional show, where I showcase the best and worst of the internet. Here I comment on brilliant and hilarious comment chains regarding dumb shit on the internet for you to enjoy. Make sure to subscribe, hit the little bell button so that you get notifications every time we come up with a new video. Enjoy this week's show. I am a former Army Ranger sniper with 33 confirmed kills in Afghanistan. Ask me anything. My name is Nicholas Irving, and I'm a former U.S. Army Ranger with multiple combat deployments to both Iraq and Afghanistan. During my service with the 75th Ranger Regiment, I served as an assaulter, heavy and light machine gunner, and designated marksman. I was the first African American to serve as a sniper in my battalion, and am now the owner of Hardshots, where I train personnel in the art of long-range shooting, from Olympians to members of the Spec Ops community. Were any of your kills against other snipers trying to hit you? Almost. My recon team had been pinned down for 3 hours against a really good sniper. He had a good position and was really hard to hit. We didn't get him, but a couple of years later I heard that an SAS team killed him. How do they recognize who is who and such? Is it from heavy surveillance? As in, how did they know that the sniper that was killed was the same one that was pinning you down? That's a good question. Because of who the unit was who got him, the workup and how they gather things is top-notch, but really not sure what they do to gather that intel. Maybe don't admit that on the internet. Can you tell us about those challenges and why people fail? There were some pretty good docs from Discovery a while back about them. I'm not sure if they're still current, but from what I learned from the documentary, stalking. Camouflage yourself perfectly. Make your way to a truck a mile away where 2 of your instructors are sitting. Make it to them and take a shot at them with a blank without them seeing. Once a shot rings out, a third instructor out in the field will find the shooter and stand within 10 feet of them. The 2 in the truck will try to find the shooter and direct the third to him. If they do it right, the shooter has to go back and start over. If they don't pin him, the 2 in the truck hold up 2 cards and the shooter has to read one of them to prove he does have a clear view of the truck, as opposed to cheating by hiding somewhere where neither people can see each other. If he gets it wrong, back to the starting line. If he gets it right, he has to take 1 more shot. If the 2 in the truck still can't spot you, you pass. Oh, and this is all timed. Final shot, you have 2 tries to hit a target of unknown distance out on the range. You have to range and adjust by yourself without a spotter. If your first shot misses, you are given only several seconds to follow up. If both miss, you're out. If you hit 1, you pass. Being a sniper looks like it's much more calculated and thought out than being in a close-up situation. Would you say that having time to consider the kills before doing the deed affected you differently than others in different situations? Definitely. Most of my kills happened in a few seconds. The ones where you take aim to look at them, you feel something. Not sure what it was, but it was just a strange feeling. Almost like a few seconds of shock or something. Hard to explain. If you had to choose one movie that most accurately describes what it's like to serve overseas, what would it be? Did Jarhead get it right? Finally, someone who doesn't hate that movie. Do you like being retired better, or do you miss your time as a sniper? I miss it, but luckily I shoot almost every day and get a chance to train others. I miss the rush sometimes, but life outside, being home, is better. I'd still go back in a heartbeat if I were needed. Interesting. I hear a lot of people who say they wouldn't go back after the PTSD. Interesting that you actively enjoyed it. Do you think that as a sniper you are away from the carnage and bloodshed, so it didn't affect you as much as, say, a bomb tech? Also, why did you leave? I was an assaulter and machine gunner for a few years on a few deployments before my time as a sniper, and employed those weapons as well. Being a sniper didn't mean I was always far away. My closest shot as a sniper was less than 30 feet away. I left because my time was up and just wanted to see what else was in the world. After your experiences with the death of close friends and inflicting death on others, what is the best advice you can give civilians on how to live? Don't live it day by day. Live it second by second. I honestly find that advice scary, coming from a sniper. Just joking. P.S. Have you ever seen the 2001 film Enemy at the Gates? Any thoughts about it? When the going gets tough, Rangers get going. Any regrets? Have you missed out on something, or has this given you all you wanted from life? I wish I would have stayed in to be around the guys. Don't miss anything else but having the brotherhood. I had a chance to be around the best individuals, and it's hard to leave that. Now that you're done, how do you deal with the lack of adrenaline? I know some people cannot find a good source to spice up their life. Or do you have something that really helps you? A lot of exercise and working with my dogs. The rush took a few years to somewhat fade, but it is still there. What kind of education or training do you receive to become a sniper? How were you chosen for that position? I started off in the sniper section selection, where the mental evals take place and they want to see your efficiency with the weapon. After that, US Army Sniper School, then we were sent to a few private sniper courses, high angle, long range precision, etc. Who should play you in the movie when it comes out? LOL, I have no idea if it were to happen. Who would you say? I think Daniel Day-Lewis would be able to really get the silent scenes when you're looking through the scope better than anyone else in Hollywood, so he's my vote. Was 33 pretty spread out over your career, or was there a cluster where you were on fire, so to speak, that came all at the same time? It was over the course of around 100 days. My on-fire day I had 4 or 5 in a few hours. Wow, here I'd been reading this imagining this being over the course of a few years. But 100 days? And 5 in a few hours? That's crazy. Definitely earned that nickname, huh? You seem like a really awesome guy, too. Maybe Clint Eastwood should have made a movie about you instead. You probably hear this non-stop, but seriously, thank you for what you've done for this country. I know it's hard to have to go out there and take another man's life, but America wouldn't be here today without men like you. Oh, almost forgot. I did have a question, if the AMA is still going, that is. Did you ever go out after specific targets, or was it more of a, we found enemies and now we're going to shoot them kind of thing? Another question for you. In movies, they usually just have a sniper spotter team alone on some rooftop. Is there usually other people protecting you guys? Obviously, don't go into detail for safety reasons. I'm just curious if you guys are proactive about enemies attacking your position. Most of the time it was just me and my spotter. A few occasions we had to split up. We did use a guy or two sometimes to watch our back as well, just depended on the mission. What kind of rifles did you use and what are your favorites? I use the SR-25 mainly. My favorite would be the 300 in AI chassis, REM 700, and M40A5. Nicholas, first off, thank you for your service. I've seen you in the news recently and have to say you seem like a very classy person. Even when Michael Moore was attacking your profession, you kept it together. Kudos. As a person who recently got into hunting, last 3 years, I want to get better at my long-range shooting. I've recently picked up a Weatherby Mark V in 3378 and have developed a custom load. I've been able to get a deer out to 600 yards. I have the simple bullet drop ballistics worked out to 1,000 yards, even though I don't have the practice in for that yet. I may even want to get into competitive long-range shooting, as it is an incredibly fun sport. What are some tips and pointers that I can use to become a better shot and reach out further? Any tricks of the trade that might be unknown to a civvy or non-sniper? Really start studying how the bullet operates under different temps. Also read up on density altitude. Bullets love it when the DA is high. What do you consider your most successful kill? Probably a shot that I took where the math I used was wrong. The first shot missed, but the second connected using a holdover. What made you get through every kill? I'm sure it was not easy. Usually just not thinking about it at first or not talking about it. Usually before bed I'd watch a movie on my portable DVD player. Hancock, Rambo, and Taken 1 were my favorites. Are people usually dead on impact when you shoot them, or do you have to wait it out sometimes? Most of them died instantly. There were a few that ran for a few feet. Do you know the story's background of any of the 33 men you sniped? Or were the orders strictly, he's our enemy, get it done? Most were IED guys who decided they had a fair fight and wanted to give it a shot. Some were small-time leaders in a specific region. Can you explain a little about how you managed to use math and physics while in such a stressful situation? Are you actually calculating things? A lot of training prior, but shortening equations to where you can do them in a second paid off a lot. Did you ever get a really hard shot and were happy you succeeded? Oh yes, I've only had 2 or 3 shots that were considered long, but after connecting was pretty cool. My spotter had the longest shot that deployment, a little over $1,000 with his 300. Do you feel you lack empathy for other people, or has your empathy to feel for others decreased since taking on the sniper mission? Negative. I've always been a friendly guy, or at least try to be. Being a sniper was a job. It didn't make me feel anything different about people. How did you feel the moment you first took the life of another human? In shock and scared, to be honest. My first deployment at 18. What was worse, basic training or actual service? Also, did you look back on your service with nostalgia or regret? Service for sure. Basic was more of a shock of being away and getting yelled at. Maintaining the job once I was in it was the hard part. Looking back, I loved every minute of it and the guys who were around me. If you enjoyed this week's effective way to waste time, hit that like button and subscribe for more content like this. If you are enjoying the series, leave me a comment below. A special shout out to the content creators. You frickin' rock.